Greetings, dear viewers. Welcome. Today's poem is Rubinstein, Reshevsky, and Prodigy. This is a poem about the game between Akiba Rubinstein and Samuel Reshevsky, and there is a small speciality to it. When this game was played, it was played in 1917. Akiba Rubinstein was already a very good player, very well established master, and Samuel Reshevsky was just a 6-year-old kid. Now let me give you a brief insights about these players before we get into the background of the game. Akiba Rubinstein, he is widely considered as one of the greatest players never to become world champion. There are a lot of players who did not become world champion but did possess all the talent and the game to become world champions, and Akiba Rubinstein is very much in that particular list. He is also notable for his rook endgames, and a lot of players, especially I want to give one example of Boris Gelfand, who really considers Akiba Rubinstein as his role model, and that gives an insight into how strong a player Rubinstein was in order for a player like Gelfand, who was a world championship contender, to have him as a role model gives an insight. And Akiba Rubinstein life is in a way tragic, even though he did amass a lot of accolades. He had mental illness towards a large part of his later life, and there is also one more interesting achievement of Akiba Rubinstein. In 1950, FIDE started to award these international grandmaster titles, and even though Akiba Rubinstein was well past his prime, he was still conferred with the grandmaster title. And at that time, of course, the leading players were Bronstein, Botvinnik, Kotov. They all were awarded. A total of 27 players were awarded the title, and Akiba Rubinstein was also awarded, considering that he was a very strong player in his peak. So that is about Rubinstein. In terms of, I want to talk about Samuel Reshevsky, absolute prodigy. Whenever there is any discussion about US chess, obviously Samuel Reshevsky is going to come into that discussion. He learned chess at the age of 4, and he was soon recognized as a prodigy, and his parents started to use him in a way to give simultaneous exhibitions and make a living out of it as well. Samuel Reshevsky did not go on to achieve his potential, but nevertheless he was considered as a very strong player. This game is interesting in a way that Samuel Reshevsky, 6-year-old kid, versus Akiba Rubinstein, was already a well-established master. Akiba Rubinstein had heard at this particular point of time that there was a young prodigy by the name of Samuel Reshevsky, who was giving simultaneous displays, who was a very good player, and Rubinstein was very eager to play him. And lo, it happened in 1917 in Warsaw. They played this particular game. Now, when a good master is playing against a prodigy, there are always going to be some odds that he is going to take to ensure that the match is even. So in this game, Akiba Rubinstein played blindfolded, and he played with a black pieces. He did not see the board, and of course one will be curious about the result. Akiba Rubinstein, even though he played blindfolded, he went on to win the game. Notable is also another fact that after this particular game, Akiba Rubinstein told Reshevsky that one day you're going to be a world champion. They also spoke about chess. They analyzed some games also, and Reshevsky apparently pointed out some games where a win could have been achieved much earlier. Like this, he was exhibiting his great chess skills in front of Rubinstein, and Rubinstein was very sure that one day is going to realize his potential and going to be a world champion. But that did not happen. But nevertheless, the game is interesting in a way because of the combination. So I'll quickly take you through the important moment of the game. This is the position wherein Akiba Rubinstein sacrifices his rook on g3. So he plays rook into g3 here, and then f into g3 and bishop into e3. After this, the game is more or less over. The queen comes to g7, and after bishop g4, queen into g4. The game is over, as the young Samuel Reshevsky resigns. So let us get into the poem. I've given you the enough background. I am going to be starting with the At a tender age of 6, Reshevsky already possessed skills enough to give simultaneous displays and conduct his games with ease. At Warsaw Chess Club in 1917, Akiba Rubinstein was keen to battle it out against the prodigy and to test his focus and energy. Rubinstein played black and blindfolded, which to some extent provided fairness in this stern test, since Rubinstein belonged to the best. Rubinstein won the game with a spectacular combination, hardly causing him any exhaustion. Yet he uttered these words about the 6-year-old magician: "One day you will become world champion." The full poem is in the description, and I'm also going to be giving the link to the game in case you are interested to check it out. Thanks for your time.